Alright, Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. Alright, before we begin, a couple quick announcements as usual. If you are interested in a 2024 yearly forecast reading, now is the time to sign up. I'll be doing those yearly forecast readings from now until about the first week in February, and it's very busy, as I said on the last couple of videos. I'm really busy with these readings. It's always a busy time of the year for the yearly forecast reading. So if you're interested in booking a 2024 yearly forecast reading, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com, and you can book that yearly forecast reading, which is a very helpful tool in assisting you on what to expect for your upcoming 2024 year, what the demons, gods, and goddesses got in store for you. If you're interested in booking any other type of reading I offer, shoot me an email. I offer Clepothic demonic readings, shadow work readings, Egyptian oracle readings, Santa Muerte readings, deity readings. For any information on how to book any of those readings or a spiritual consultation, shoot me that email at khnum19@gmail.com. Please include the days and times you are available and the time zone that you are in, because as I've said before, I deal with people not only within the United States and all the different time zones in the States. I also deal with people overseas, Europe, Africa, etc. And it makes it very challenging sometimes to coordinate times due to people being in various time zones. All right, if you're interested in signing up for classes, I do 3 private classes every month for Patreon members only, including a group ritual we do together at the end of the month. If you're interested in getting in on the classes that I do offer, go to patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the tier that you want to join to become a Patreon member and to get in and then get involved in all the Patreon classes. Okay? Tier 3 is the tier you want to join. Not only when you join do you get access from the classes from that day moving forward, you also get access to all of the classes in the archive, which is going back over 3 years. You get access to all of the group rituals we've done in over the last 3+ years. The classes include additional ritual work. Again, the Patreon page, as I said before, I go in much more in depth. I talk about things on Patreon I would not talk about openly on YouTube. It's more of a personal setting. It's done on a private Zoom video meeting, and you can see everybody, and everybody interacts. You could ask questions. So it's for that individual that wants to take their left-hand path occult practice or path of self-mastery to that next level. All right, so check out that Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Also, for the month of December, for Patreon members only, I will be doing a final end of the year class summarizing and summing up our 2023 year and what we can expect in 2024. I'll be doing some quick on-the-spot readings for people that are in that class, real quick, on the spot, see what the spirits have to say. You don't want to miss that class. It's going to be a fun class to wrap up 2023 going into 2024. Don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. Don't forget to check out the social media pages. Primordial Chaos 9, one word, on Instagram. Primordial Chaos, 2 words, on Facebook. I also upload all of the new content on the Facebook page. I also, in addition to the podcast, which is a great tool now, you can get everything in MP3 files or audio format. You can listen to it while you're hanging out in the house or walking in the park, exercising, riding in the car. You can get all of this new content on both of those platforms. All right, again, just to always keep putting it out there, October 2024, which will be at the end of October, the 7th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference. Mark your calendars. More than likely, we'll have it at the same location. More to come on that as we get into early next year. All right. Other than that, I was talking about yesterday critical thinking. I was breaking down understanding the reptilian brain and the neocortex aspect of your brain, which gives you your critical thinking skills. Okay. What I want to talk about in this particular video, as we're in this time of the year, seasons, vibrational energy, and frequency as they put things out is very critical and important, because you tap in to the energy that they put out into the ethers. Okay? Now, depending on how you're grounded in your spiritual path, depending on what time of the season it is and how you tap in. When I say season, you can call them cycles, you can call them equinoxes, but you must be tapped in and locked into your own personal frequency, okay? And your energy and your frequency is very personal. This is why I say, though it is an individual journey, there is the collectiveness or the togetherness, but we're all traveling, as I said, that path to try to master ourselves, to get to that same destination, to get to those same results. But we're not all taking the same exact path to get there. So you must be grounded in your personal frequency and energy. This is why, like when I did a video a couple weeks ago, well, last week, whatever it was, learn how to ritualize the holidays, right? I keep trying to tell people, rather than just, all right, you have to identify the problems and the issues first, but then you must address it with solutions. So you could take anything, and I'm using the holidays because it's holiday season. You can, because if we talk about this path is about manipulating energy, that's what a magician does. You can't destroy energy. Energy can't be created, it's always existed. That's hard to comprehend from a three-dimensional perspective, saying that, trying to comprehend that from a person, place, or thing, or three-dimensional understanding is a little confusing, or it may not make sense, or you can't really come to that final answer that you're looking for. But that's what we do as magicians. We manipulate the energy. So, as I was using an example in that video, and I'm using the holidays and Christmas as an example, it doesn't matter what they put it out there as, right? Because every year it's the same bullshit, especially with so-called conscious woke people. Oh, I don't celebrate that because it's this and that, and it's pagan, this, blah, blah, blah. You know, a lot of complaining and whining and no solutions. So as I said before, look, whatever I don't care if it's Christmas or any other holiday, whatever your personal, stance on something is, that's your business. I don't care. Whether you're in alignment with it or you're not, that's personal. But what I was trying, when you're grounded in your personal frequency, what I was trying to get people to see, you can take anything and make it your own. Okay? And that's what I meant when I was talking about ritualizing the holidays. Take that energy, change it, and manipulate it the way you see fit to work for you. Because as I said before, we feed off of energy, which is a vampiric magic principle, one of many. And this is a high time of the year where there's an abundance of spiritual energy out there. Do you have the ability to tap into it? Okay, now regardless, to come to us on the path of the occult and say, well, Christmas is a pagan holiday, right? We don't really give a fuck because that's right up our alley. So to get into the origin of it, you can look, I believe it's in Jeremiah 10. It mentions the Christmas tree. It ties it into Nimrod and Tammuz, and it talks about removing a tree or cutting a tree from the forest and setting it up and decorating it with gold ornaments. Right? The house of Israel was warned not to do that because it comes from a tradition that predates their monotheistic religion. And then it is said at a certain point of the year that tree was put up to honor the birth of Tammuz. I hope you're catching these synchronizations. There are some stories and traditions out there that Nimrod sometimes, after he transitioned on, he would leave presents under this evergreen tree. So yes, the origin of your Christmas tree is pagan and occult in nature. I'm not talking about if you're religious. Of course, you're not gonna, if you're that type of religious where you don't acknowledge anything because it goes against your more modern day religious principles. But these are traditions and occult practices that go back way before monotheism. If you understand the origin of Tammuz, right? If you understand the origin of Nimrod and Semiramis. It's also where one of the aspects of the origin of the mother and child aspect comes from. Outside of Heru and Aset, or Horus and Aset, that image is also then modern day times to Mary and Jesus, but that also goes back to Semiramis, right? Nimrod and Tammuz, right? It's all in alignment. So yes, the origin, all the origins of Christmas are pagan and occult. They represented high times of the season of celebration, and even when you look on the religious calendar, this is something too. And this was changed by these so-called religious councils like the Council of Nicaea. All you got to do is do the basic math to see there's no possible way this character Jesus was born in December, when according to their calendar, the first month of the year technically would be March. But these councils, to suit their specific needs, whether it was political, religious, or, as I've said in the past, to keep those who had pagan practices and traditions, to keep them satisfied with a lot of the Christians at that time that were in Rome, they came up with these different dates that they altered and changed. Technically, Christmas, when you line up the birth of Christ, Passover, death and resurrection into Easter, they would all be between March, April, and May, roughly in that area. You do the math, okay? But they changed it because to the winter solstice, as I've said this before, why they took Christmas and attributed Christ's birth to December 25th, as I said before, December 25th is the day on the Gregorian calendar where it's the shortest amount of daylight hours. So symbolically, they tied it into light emerging from darkness. They said this would be a great period to identify the birth of Christ, who represented the light coming out of the darkness, which would be that day, December 25th. Notice, pay attention to the 2 and 5, 7, which always represents completion. 7 days of creation, 7 planets, 7 chakras. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The activation of that Kundalini light within, the 7th being the crown chakra, Christ, or as they say, Christ consciousness, or illumination of the crown chakra. All this stuff is connected. It's not a coincidence. But the powers that be at that time that were established in these so-called councils, like the Council of Trent, the Council of Nicaea, they were the ones that changed what we're calling Christmas to this time of the year, because it represented this time of the year, whether it was amongst other cultures that practiced these traditions, it was a high time of celebration. It represented a high time of energy in this solstice. So they figured, what better way? Why don't we adjust it and tap into and feed off all of that energy? And we'll take this, what we're calling the Christmas season or the birth, and we'll adjust it to this period or this time of the season or this particular solstice. Remember, what I'm trying to get you to see, this is why you got to be in alignment with your personal frequency. What I'm trying to get you to see is, okay, seasons, I've talked about this in the past, cycles, they know how to tap into your vibrational frequency. They know what to promote when it's summer, spring, fall. The holidays are key points where they're able to tap in to your vibrational frequency, and that can affect you on a multitude of ways, okay? That can affect you on a multitude of ways. So they know if you are sucked into the commercial aspect of these holidays, where they program you to buy certain things or they program you to make you feel like you're obligated, then they have made the adjustment on your frequency and not in a productive way for you. As I said before, I don't tap into the holidays for any religious purposes, commercial, retail purposes, or any of that. I tap into, as I said, the togetherness, the family unity, the mythos and mythological and magical aspect, especially of Christmas, when you ritualize, again, as I said, Santa Claus, the elves, the North Pole. The North Pole. When you go into the lodge, they say out of the north comes darkness. So in the lodge, they don't work in the north. Set represents the north. Santa resides in the North Pole. Hail Santa, right? Is Santa another aspect of the adversary? Yes, you can ritualize that if you want. He represents both of those polarities when you look at it. If you look at north, south, east, and west, when you call the four corners, you call the darkness from the north. Santa Claus resides in the north. He emerges from that darkness in the winter solstice. You can ritualize the whole thing. You can take Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, Samael, Lilith. You can take, there's so many synchronizations. And then you could ritualize that and tap into the power of that. Yeah, on the surface, it might look all cute to you. But to us who are real magicians and know how to manipulate the energy, and if you're approaching it like that and everybody else is tapping into the Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, elves, Christmas mythology, as a magician, how much energy and power do you think you can draw from that if you know what the fuck you're doing? See, you motherfuckers got to wake up. They don't understand. As I told you, motherfuckers that know what they're doing and are about this, we don't got to get on. We don't got to announce it to everybody. Okay? I'm rich. Look, your whole life is a ritual. But this time of the year, I'm in deep ritual 24/7. Just driving around in the ethers, you can absorb. As it gets closer to what they call Christmas Day, the energy becomes stronger. And you can use that to empower yourself if you know what the fuck you're doing. So this may not make sense to those who know nothing about this path, who know nothing about magic, sorcery, and working any of this type of spiritual work. It ain't gonna make sense to you. It's not supposed to, because it's not for you. Okay? Don't look at what I do on the surface and think you got it all figured out, because you don't. Trust me when I tell you. You don't. I'm trying to show you how you get centered and grounded in your own personal frequency and energy. Like, same thing, I could do it with 4th of July. I could ritualize 4th of July. That whole week. What I'm going to start doing is, not just for Christmas, when all these holidays arise, I'll break them down for you and how you can ritualize them. The reason why, regardless of your stance on it, whether you disagree with it or want nothing to do, if you live in this society, this environment, you're subjected and affected to it, regardless, whether you like it or not, or don't agree with it or don't celebrate it. So how are you ritualizing it and altering that energy, especially if it's something you do not like about it, other than complaining about it? Oh, I don't celebrate that shit. I don't do nothing. Okay. But the energy still affects you, whether you celebrate it or not. What are you doing to ritualize that? What are you doing to tap into that power? Because I fuck with all that shit. I don't give a fuck. I enjoy all that shit. I fuck with all that shit. I told you, man, all that conscious wannabe woke shit, I'm done with that nonsense. That shit is nonsense. Some of you motherfuckers are space cadets. You way out there in left field with your bullshit. You so fucking woke, but you ain't got your shit together. Your life's a hot fucking mess. It's hot trash. It's hot garbage. But you so woke. You so deep. You got so much fucking knowledge. But your life is a hot fucking cesspool of garbage. Okay? Remember, you are a representation of the knowledge you claim you have. Okay? So if there's no success and results there, then the question is, what the fuck are you doing? That's all. That's the question. Be grounded and centered in your personal frequency, your own vibrational energy. Okay? understand the origins of these things. And by that understanding, it gives you the power and the ability to, whichever way you see fit, to manipulate that energy that works for you. This is also in line with that your whole life is a ritual. I think that's going to be my next video. Your whole life is a ritual. I'll elaborate more in depth as a whole. So learn to tap into this energy and power and make it your own. I love that, man. Look, I love this shit, man. I can't, look, now we getting closer. November's wrapping up, December. I'm going to be posting a video soon. The house is almost done. This shit looks, look, I just walking in there is a ritual to me, man. And tapping into the power, looking around in my house right now, seeing all of this quote unquote Christmas energy. Okay? You guys got to learn. All need to learn how to tap in on that personal level that works for you. All right? That's going to wrap this one up as I'm pretty much arriving to my destination. Again, if you need to reach out to me, khnum19@gmail.com. If you want to sign up for classes, the way to do that is go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Don't forget to check out the podcast on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. Don't forget to check out the Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9 on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 2 words on Facebook. All of that information, all the links to the social media pages, to the Primordial Chaos podcast, to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes, and my contact email address. All of that is in the description box of this video that you are watching right now. We will talk soon. Infernal blessings.